Hi folks, welcome to this video, which is an update or a continuation of a video I published about a year ago. That one was called Annual Ownership Cost 2017, Real World Numbers of a Mooney. I linked to the video in the description. It was the first one I did after the first complete year of ownership of a 1965 Mooney M20E Echo. And this video is the continuation and the annual ownership cost of 2018. In the last video I showed you the decision-making process which led me to this particular Mooney and my considerations that went into the buying process and why I decided to purchase a Mooney and not a Cessna or a Piper. And then I talked about the costs that I was planning to have, and then I showed you the real world numbers in 2017, which were a little bit higher than the planned cost. And in this video I'll update you on the numbers of 2018. Let's recap very quick. In 2017, the total hours were, the total flight time was 74.5 hours. We in Europe, under EASA regulations, we do not count hops hours like the guys in the US. We count only the flight time from takeoff till landing, and in 2017 this was 74.5 hours. The tach time, so the engine run time on the tachometer was 89.07 hours. The planned cost that year was insurance, which is basically the same this year. Parking fees didn't change either. The annual 50-hour, 100-hour inspection cost did change a bit to what was planned, because I had a additional 50-hour inspection and some additional cost due to moving to another maintenance facility. Overall, the planned cost in 2017, well, at least what I call planned cost, was 7,389 euros. And I'm building a reserve of 25 euros per flight hour. 20 of that goes into savings account for engine overhaul that has to be done every 2,000 hours, and 5 euro go into the overhaul reserve for the propeller, which is in this case 2,400 hours time between overhaul. So for the 74 hours in 2017, the reserve build-up was 1,862 euros and 50 cents. And the total annual cost dry then was 11,087 euros. This is the planned dry cost plus the reserve build-up and what I call maintenance plus items in the bottom here in this table. This is all the costs that was in addition to what was planned. So for example, I had to do a 500-hour mag inspection, which was 803 euros. The exhaust pipe fell apart. I had to replace that one for 376 euros. Brake pads were renewed for 164 euros. And the COM1 antenna had to be replaced for almost 500 euros. So all these costs plus reserve build-up and the planned costs were the annual dry costs in 2017 of 11,087 euros. And then when you add the fuel and oil costs, that then adds up to 17,737 euros. and this is not an actual number which is based on fuel bills. This is just an estimate of an average fuel burn with an average price in my area. And so you end up in 2017 with an hourly dry rate of 148 euros and 83 cents and a wet rate, including fuel and oil, of 238 euros and 9 cents. So each flight hour in 2017 cost 238 euros and 9 cents to fly in my area with this Mooney, considering all costs. And keep in mind the wet costs of fuel and oil is just a rough estimate. Okay, now let's look at 2018. First, planned cost endurance is the same like in the year before, nothing changed here. Parking, the same. The annual cost is much higher than in 2017. Let's look at where this comes from. The 500 something euros are from the 50-hour inspection this year. 70 euros is the oil for the 50-hour inspection. And then the annual inspection was 5,688 euros. Yeah, the guys at the shop found a crack in the exhaust where the exhaust pipes meet the muffler. So they had to disassemble the whole engine cowling, take off the exhausts, and send it to another shop in Germany to weld the crack. And the cost for the welding was about 800 euros, which is ridiculous for one about 15 to 20 centimeter long weld. But yeah, that's what you pay here. And the additional pricing is for taking off the engine cowling and putting it on again, because that's obviously, well, the upper part and the side parts of the Mooney cowling are pretty easy to remove, but the lower part is apparently not as easy and took some time. And then when they took off the bolts of the exhaust pipes where they mount into the cylinders, they found that some of these stud bolts, I'll show you some pictures here, some of the studs were in not too good condition, so they were very rusty. So they had to remove 4 of the studs, and this was quite a labor intensive process, since they had to be cautious not to break the studs. Yeah, well, they replaced them, they put the repaired exhaust back in and closed the cowling up, and that all together costs about a little over 3,000 euros of extra costs. Alright, so that leaves us with 9,917 euros of planned costs, divided by the almost 100 hours this year, 96 hours. That leaves us with 102 euros of planned costs, or fixed costs if you will, per hour in 2018. And then adding the variable costs, and again, what is behind the variable costs? It is the 10,900 euros here, which comes from fuel, oil, and the reserve buildup. That's 113 euros. That adds up to almost 11,000 euros over the almost 100 hours this year. As you can see here, I'm assuming an average oil burn of 9.5 gallons. Fuel burn of 9.5 gallons and roughly 0.15 quads per hour. Alright, so the total annual cost dry includes the fixed costs, the maintenance plus items, and the reserve build-up, and that's 12,886 euros. Maintenance plus items this year were exhaust, the exhaust repair, that's included in the annual price. That's why I didn't put any number here. Brake pads were also renewed during the annual inspection. That's also included in the annual price. I bought a new battery in the beginning of the year, and that was almost 400 euros, and then a Garmin GPS database update for 167 euros. So maintenance plus items were a little over 550 euros this year, and that's all included in the total annual cost dry. And that leaves us with a dry rate of 133 euros over the 96 hours this year. And adding the variable cost, this is planned cost plus variable cost plus maintenance plus, and that is 21,463 euros and 16 cents, and divided by 96.6 hours, that's an hourly wet rate, so including fuel and oil, of 222 euros. That could have been much less if I didn't have to spend the additional 3,000 euros during the annual inspection. But yeah, that's how it is. Now if we look at the 2020 column here, that's what we could end up with. Insurance, parking, a normal annual and 50-hour inspection, almost 3,000 euros. So a lot of savings compared to 2018. And 100 hours during the year of flight time assumed. That would end up at almost 18,000 euros and could be then an hourly wet rate of 180 euros, which is pretty good for a Mooney in this, well, at least in Germany, with the fuel prices and taxes we have to pay. Alright, this wraps up my statistics for 2018 on the ownership cost of a 1965 Mooney M20E. If you also own an aircraft, no matter if it's here in Europe or the US, I'm interested in your figures. Comment below what you see as an annual cost, maybe of another Mooney or Cessna or whatever you fly. So yeah, if you're willing to share, please comment below your numbers in 2018. Alright, thanks for watching, and always happy landings. Fly safe.